Hi at welcome sa channel. So this benchmark is inspired by Riser Phoenix question kung better upgrade ba yung RX 550 plus the 3100 versus the 3200G. So ito yung 3200G and ito yung 3100. So before we proceed with the benchmark and as a background, ito yung pinagkaiba ng 3200G sa 3100. So 3200G is a second gen processor and yung 3100 is a third gen processor. Yung 3200G is Zen Plus architecture and yung 3100 is Zen 2 architecture. So kahit pareha silang Ryzen 3000 series, mas lumang architecture si 3200G. So I know medyo confusing pero wala, ganun talaga. So 3200G has 4 cores and 4 threads while yung 3100 4 cores and 8 threads. So lamang to ng 4 na threads. And since APU ito, kahit lagyan mo ng 16GB RAM sa system, around 14GB lang yung usable since 2GB will be allocated sa IGPU or integrated GPU. So with 3200G, you will have less resources since may kaagaw na sa RAM yung bandwidth and allocation. So saan lang lamang tong 3200G sa number? Yun lang, joke lang. Since APU ito, meron itong IGPU, ito wala. So ayan, meron siyang Radeon graphics. Then, ito wala. Ang point ko lang dito ay yung 3100 is an overall better product kaysa sa 3200G in terms of processing power. And that is true sa kalaban ni 3100 which is the Intel i3-10100 and i3-10100F. Sa games na mostly CPU bound like CSGO and Valorant, this will favor 3100 by a few FPS. Based on personal estimates, the 3200G would likely bottleneck an RTX 2060 pero yung 3100 okay pa, at least on 1080p gaming. Okay, so right now, this APU is being sold at 10 to 12K which is a bad value. Background uli, this was being sold at 6K dati. I actually bought this bundle for 11K. So may kasamang motherboard saka itong processor na to. So dati may motherboard ka na, ngayon processor na lang. My point is very inflated yung pricing ngayon even for the APU kahit na hindi siya ginagamit sa mining. As a note din, to maximize your APU, kailangan dual channel yung RAM and enable yung XMP. Pag di mo ginawa parehas, expect mo na 20 to 30% yung ibababa nito sa performance. Kahit sa Windows pa lang, ramdam mo na agad yung difference. Very sluggish kapag hindi siya dual channel at hindi enable yung XMP. So for this benchmark, dual channel and XMP enable yung ginawa ko. As usual, time snap low para sa game na gusto nyo. For CSGO at medium settings, 87 FPS lang yung 3200G and 126 to 130 FPS naman yung RX 550 at GT 1030s. For auto high settings, 55 FPS lang yung 3200G and 79 FPS at minimum naman yung mga DGPU. When I say DGPU pala, ito yung mga discrete graphics cards or yung mga katulad ng GT 1030 or RX 550 na kailangan mo isaksak sa PCIe slot mo. So overall, roughly 44% better yung mga DGPU sa parehas na settings.
Left. Watch out! Only 1 man left.
For League of Legends, 117 FPS lang yung 3200G while 184 FPS naman yung mga DGPU natin. This makes our DGPU at least 57% better than the 3200G. For Valorant, on low settings, 125 FPS yung 3200G, while 188 to 203 FPS naman yung mga DGPU. On medium settings naman, 94 FPS yung 3200G, while 150 FPS sa GT1030. This makes our DGPU at least 50% better than the 3200G.
Reloading. Many enemies B. Reloading.
Scanning ahead.
Come on, let's go!
The hunt begins.
You're out.
Concussing!
Spike planted. Last player standing.
Nowhere to run!
One enemy remaining. Attackers win.
For Genshin Impact, on low settings, 42 FPS yung 3200G, while at least 54 FPS naman yung mga DGPU. On medium settings, 33 FPS naman yung average ng 3200G, while at least 43 FPS naman yung mga DGPU. Take note lang na while on gaming on medium, may mga ilang stutters ako na-experience. Overall, this makes our DGPUs at least 28% better than 3200G.
Kore! Yat!
For FF14, benchmark score at standard desktop settings is at 4,627 or 31 FPS against the score of 8,190 ng mga GT1030. On high laptop settings, this has a score of 3,405 against 5,242 ng mga DGPU. This makes our DGPU at least 53% better than the 3200G. For Apex Legends, this performance is similar to our GT1030, which for me is not bad. On average, this is within the margin of error, which is around 10%. Nag-trail lang ito against our X550 by 22%.
Down. Unacceptable.
1 minute. The ring is far. Only 45 seconds. I can on fire.
For FF15, as usual, I would recommend na PS5 na lang talaga yung bilhin mo than this. Pero 3200G was rated insufficient by the benchmark against nahiya pang slightly low on RD GPUs. For Forza Horizons, this is one of the outliers in this benchmark. On low settings, it ran 46.7 FPS and completely outrun GT 1030, which was nasa 40-ish FPS. This makes 3200G 15% better. It was also able to play in high settings at 35 FPS, which is not bad and better by 25% against GT 1030s. However, it still trailed RX 550 in both high and low settings by at least 21%. So bakit mas malakas ang 3200G sa GT 1030 on this game? Ang hula ko ay dahil Xbox game ito at ang Xbox ay nagamit ng AMD APU, which likely means na optimize itong game na ito for AMD GPUs. Whether IGPU pa siya or DGPU, basta optimized siya for AMD. For COD, nalabas 40 FPS ito in-game using Battle Royale Quad Mode. By the way, previously ang gamit kong benchmark ay yung Practice Mode. Kaso wala na ito sa options nitong bagong update. I will update the benchmarks on my upcoming videos pero I believe na dapat parehas lang yung results. So likely 60%, I will say likely kasi hindi pa tayo sure talaga. So likely 60% better yung 3200G against GT 1030. Pero 3200G is still weaker by 35% with RX 550. I also believe that this game is again optimized for AMD since my Xbox released din ito. Conclusion, lamang lang si 3200G sa Forza and potentially sa COD against GT 1030, no? And overall, wala itong binatbat sa RX 550. If this 3200G is being sold at 6K, no doubt sulit ito as you can play games like CSGO, League of Legends, Valorant, and of course those Xbox optimized games. This was the king of budget gaming, no? So ito talaga yung gusto ba dati ng budget gaming, ito yung bibilhin mo. Pero sadly, 11K na siya. Sa presyo nito ngayon, nakabili ka na ng i3 10100 for 7K pesos and GT 1030 for 4.5K pesos. So around 11.5K yun. Sulit na, di ba? Kung makachamba ka ng i3 10100F na worth 5K, then mas makamura ka pa by 2K. If ang target game mo Forza or other Xbox games na ported sa PC, I would suggest to buy an RX 550 and then maghintay ka na magka-stock yung 10100F. Minsan wala, minsan meron. So with the Radeon RX 550 and the 10100F, around 12K ito. With the current pricing, mas sulit yung any DGPU option against 3200G. So that ends our video. Thanks for watching. Do like or dislike this video, comment, and subscribe. Bye!